Hello, hello. Guys, it's Thursday again already. Lord, time is flying. It's Thursday, so you know it's time for Money Talks with Mitchell Consulting. I am Lauren King Darden, and I am here to talk to you about all things business finance. So, what I would love for you to do, if you have any questions, please put them in our comments, or you can DM Mitchell Consulting, and we will try to answer your questions on the next live that we have. Today, we are talking about pricing again. So, this month we're doing pricing. Last week I gave you some tips on what you can think about as you are trying to price your products or services effectively. And this week, I would love to dive into more of the numbers because that's where I live, y'all. Okay. Excel spreadsheets, yes, please. Thank you. I would appreciate that. Anyway, let's get into it. So, where do we start? Where do we start from a numbers perspective? It's very difficult to set pricing for things you're going to do without understanding the cost of bringing those products or services to your clients and customers. It is very difficult to set pricing that is effective without understanding the cost of bringing those products and services to your clients and customers. So I want you to start with your personal numbers. As a business owner, a lot of times we neglect our own needs when it comes to our own lives, like our business, right? We're thinking that we're going to just continue to reinvest our salaries back into the business, hoping the business will grow and flourish and be what we want it to be. But you're operating your business without really putting in the cost of paying yourself. So then your business gets used to operating without paying you. And you don't want that because the more you make, sometimes the more you have to spend, the more people you need to make more money. So you have to consider yourself first. Don't let yourself be an afterthought. So I want you to do a budget for your household and really see what you need first at a minimum, and then what you want at a maximum, and have those numbers available. I mean, it could be as easy as using mint.com, which actually, I don't even know if Mint is Mint anymore. I think Intuit may have created mint.com and put it somewhere else. I think it might be Credit Karma, but these are tools where you can put your bank account on these tools and it'll show you what you're spending. It'll show you all of your categories and things for your personal finances. I think another one might be like, um, oh, YAB, YAB. Child, don't give me the line, but there are a ton of tools you can use to really assess your personal finances. And you can literally attach your bank accounts, see where you're spending money, kind of lump them together to see like where you're really spending. Is it utilities? Are you spending a lot? Are you spending a lot on eating out? Are you spending a ton on, whatever you're doing? Get an understanding of what you need to live in total. Understand what are costs that you can't change. Understand the costs that you maybe can change, things that you can maybe cut back on, and then say, this is the minimum amount of money that I would like to get from my business to fund my life. Because we don't want you to forget about you, and that's what you need to do. Create a budget for your household and say, business, you gonna pay me what you owe. You gonna pay me what I need. I'll say that. I want my business to pay me a salary of X or Y. Okay. Get that number and get a hard number, not arbitrary, not based on feelings. Okay. Based on what you need. That's step one. I want you to do the same thing for your business. So if we are thinking about financial statements, you can find these numbers on your income statement. Your income statement is going to show the cost of operating your business, And then the cost, and let me preface this, if your financials are done correctly and showing accurate information, they will show your operating costs and they will show your cost to deliver your services or product. And that's cost of goods sold or cost of services sold. Okay. Those should be split out so that you can see this is how much it costs me directly to put on this service. So if I am a product based business, a cost of goods sold could be sugar if I'm selling something, right? I'm selling drinks and I have to put the sugar to make the drink sugar, right? Or water to make the drink, wine or something. Like the actual cost to that you have to use every time you make that product. If it's a cost of services sold, if you are consistently using some sort of technology or you pay for things for this service for that person to be able to adequately do your service, that would be like a cost of service, because you cannot provide your service without paying for this thing, if that makes sense. So that would be a cost of service. Then you have your operating costs, which are things that you pay for whether you have clients or not. So your email, like software that you use to do your company things, maybe office furniture, or sometimes you have people on salary that work on admin things. People who work on specific projects are like the cost of that sale. They're like a part of the project. Well, actually, no, that would be, in salary, but you get the drift, right? You need to understand the difference between those costs. You need to understand the difference between those costs, because if you are trying to get your pricing right, you need to understand what costs are required and what costs can be changed. What costs are required and what costs can be changed. You also need to understand if you are, spending efficiently for the service that you are putting forth, right? So I really want you to think through your operating costs, the things that you are required to pay for, and things that may be kind of fluff here and there. You also kind of want to understand like the recurring costs of things for your business. So there are things that we have to pay for every month to put our business forward in the way that we desire it to be, displayed. So for example, for me to do this live on multiple different platforms, we are using a tool that allows me to do this once and be put on many different places. That is a recurring cost that we pay for every month. And it is somewhat a requirement for us because we would like to reach you and share information freely without having, inefficiencies of having to post in many different places. It saves us time. And so that's why we pay for it. You know what I mean? There may be certain things that you have to pay for month after month after month. And then there are certain things that you pay for inconsistently. So, you might be taking a client to dinner, or, that's something that you don't necessarily have to do for your business to operate. So you have to kind of understand. I'm saying all of this to say, as you're looking at your financial statements, understand the kind of category your costs are in. If your expenses are kind of directly tied to your service or your product, likely you can't cut that. You can't cut that cost. But if you kind of take a step back and say, oh, I paid for this one time, I may not really need that thing. Or I pay for this software, but I have another software that does similar things to this one. A lot of times we'd have duplicate things that are kind of just like, y'all, I cannot think. Why can't I get my words out? Lord, the words mean things. Okay. When you have things that are duplicative in your business, it happens all the time because sometimes we have shiny penny syndrome, and we see this service or this software that can do something fun for us. It can help us organize our calendar, but we might already pay for something that already does that. So make a list and ensure that you don't have any things that are kind of doing the same thing. make sure that you are running as efficiently as possible. So once you identify those fixed costs, those things you can't change, like your salaries, your rent, your utilities, your cost of goods sold, and then think about the variable things that you can change, things that you can pull back on if you need more, you can adjust, it might be like subcontractors. You don't always have to have them work the same amount of hours, so just decide, like, this is what I want. Just decide and assess and really see what it's costing you to run your business and to deliver your services. So identify those costs. So when you're identifying your personal needs, your personal costs, how much you need to make from the business, then I want you to identify your operating costs, your fixed and variable operating costs, what is absolutely necessary and what is not. The next thing that you need to do to really approach pricing from a numbers perspective is to understand the time and effort it takes for you to provide your product and service to your audience or to your clients. If you don't know the amount of time that it takes to provide your service to your client, you're doing yourself a disservice, and likely you are undercharging your client for what you are completing for them. There is very little time where things don't take a turn, where things go exactly how you plan. You need to understand the time it takes to do things, and you need to build in a little cushion for yourself because there's always going to be things that go wrong. So to start doing this, if you have not already, use tools to just track your time as you're doing your business. And you can apply this to all parts of your business, because when we think of operational efficiency, you also need to know how long it takes for your team to do things. If your team is doing things inefficiently, it can impact your profitability, especially on hourly project-based work. So, and product based. If it's taking them too long to make a certain product that you have already priced at a certain amount, forget about it. You're not going to make that money back. So you need to be very particular about pricing based on the time effort. So there are a couple of time tracking solutions that you can use. I know a free one is Toggl. It's toggl.com, I believe. And Toggl, you can use completely free. Of course, there are options to upgrade if you want certain features that may not be free, but Toggl is free for the most part, and you can add multiple people to that system. You can also use Harvest app, which is a project-based. It really helps you with project accounting and invoicing. You can use Clockify, which does the same thing. And all of these tools allow you to track your time to a project, to track your time to a certain task, and it helps you to see everything together. You can run reports. You can understand how much time you're spending on things and how much time your team is spending on things. So time tracking, understanding the effort that it takes to put forward your products and services is extremely important for ensuring that your pricing is at the right level for each thing that you're providing. It also helps you to communicate the value of the product or service that you are selling. If something takes a ton of effort and people don't realize it, you are responsible for letting them know. Like, me doing your bookkeeping for a month is time consuming, and you need to know that I am probably doing it faster than you can. Not only am I doing things faster than you because I'm the expert at this thing, I'm probably doing it more accurately, and I am implementing processes to allow that to be done even more efficiently. If you're not an expert in that, you're not going to really know ways to do things better or faster. So as you are pricing, realize that you're not only selling the service that you're providing, but you're selling your expertise in that service. You're selling your efficiency in that. So while you're not necessarily doing things and saying like, oh, it takes me this long, so it should cost this much, you still need to know how long it takes to do it. And you still need to be able to communicate that value, communicate that time and effort. So track that. Okay, so now you want to make sure you have all these things together. It's going to cost me this much to put this product. It costs me this much to put this product and service out to my clients and customers. Um, I need this much coming in from my business. Then you can start to kind of make your revenue targets. So you want to start to say, from a year perspective, this is how much money I want to bring in. Because now you know how much you want to take home, how much it costs to operate your business, how much it costs to bring your services to consumers or your product to consumers, and you know the time and effort that it takes to do that, which means you know how much you may have to pay contractors to do that. So you can calculate based on their rates what that's also going to cost you. Okay. So you're looking at your past numbers to try to make estimates for your future. And this will help you to create revenue targets where you're saying, all right, I want to, my business costs this much. I want to make X amount. I know I have to also pay for these expenses to pay myself, pay my bills for the business. I need to make this amount of money. And then from there, you can say, how many clients, based on the time and effort that I have to put in, is it realistic for our capacity to serve and make this amount of money? And that's where you might have to adjust some of your thinking. You may have to adjust some of your pricing, or you may have to adjust maybe your services. Because if it doesn't make sense, like I want to make $2 million, and at this point, to run my business is $1 million. That would be great, right? But I'm just throwing out numbers. So let's say, then you're saying, but how many clients do I have to serve to hit that mark? And is that actually realistic with what I'm paying my team and what I need to pay myself? And you can say, oh man, we would have to reach 1 million people to make $1 million. Then you kind of start to think about like, oh, that might not be super feasible. Does my pricing make sense? Do I need to charge more for the individual things that I'm doing? Or, should I target less people? Should I target more people? Like, you can really make better decisions about the goals you have for the people you want to reach when you understand these numbers. And I just looked at the time I've been on here. It's a long time, but I really want to hammer in the importance of knowing the numbers behind your pricing. Okay. So even though this is a little bit of a longer session for us, I hope you stick with us, because it is so important that you consider these things as you're setting your prices, or you may never be able to, conquer and get to that state of profitability. Pricing is so, so, so important. There's so many factors. There's so much competition, but you need to know your internal numbers to really ensure that you're pricing correctly, to ensure that you're offering the right things. This information can help you refine your offers, can help you to refine your processes, like to help you set goals, right? Once you know these things and you're setting your revenue targets and you have your cost targets and all of those things, it may say, hey, I've identified my operating costs and I am operating at, way higher than I need to. And I need to make a change for us to actually be profitable. So once you understand this information and are able to truly see your numbers and how your prices will impact your goals and get you to where you want to be, you can make additional decisions based on this very, detailed information. And that's really going to help your business grow, right? At the end of the day, we want to have profitable, sustainable businesses that allow us to live the lives that we want to. You don't want to work all the time. You created this business to create a specific lifestyle for you and for your team. You know what I mean? We're not here for the hustle culture. We're here for thinking strategically about what we're doing, knowing our numbers, putting in a place, and then letting it work for us. So know your numbers. This is how you can really set pricing that's going to set you up to be profitable and effectively pay yourself and get you to the life that you want to lead and the goals that you're looking for. Okay, I've been on here for 20 minutes. Ciao. If you guys have any questions, let me know. We are here to help. We're not gatekeeping information. We want to share with you guys because we really want everybody to do their thing, and there's room for all of us. Everybody can eat. So I'll be back next week, but until then, y'all have a good one, and I'll talk to you then. Bye.